Yo, what up, Charles?
What's going on, bro? What's happening, man?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. I'm good. Just constantly, pushing and grinding or whatever.
Yeah. How's the quarantine been treating you?
uh, I mean, for me, I think it's been like an opportunity for many things, for like training in the arts of other ways of how to
Mm,
like, I don't know, build myself up creatively. Like I've been doing a lot of my own like promotion and flyers and stuff lately because I've had the time to like practice on editing and all that type of stuff and how to present my crew a lot better. And then I've had more family time too because I'm always on the road. So now I get to like be with the fam for a bit. So I mean, I'm not really complaining, just adapting, you know?
yeah. Yeah, man. That's good,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, I feel the same way. It's a weird time, man, but it's really cool to get this opportunity to have this time. The world's struggling in a lot of ways, but I like to see, man, like the dance community seems to be really adapting well, and stay
Facts.
grinding.
Facts. Yeah, yeah. Definitely I see a lot of people like who just like jumped on it real fast and was like, all right, okay, so it's digital dance now, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. How you feel about that, man? How you feel about the digital world versus the physical one?
I mean, I'm always like, I think I'll always pick face to face over anything. Um, but human beings are so like intelligent that they expanded the definition of connection. You know what I mean? Because
Mm,
like a long time ago, connection meant something else, or just one half of what it means now. Like,
mm,
connection in person, like feeling each other out and all that stuff. Now, connection online, staying connected. So I'm just trying to look at it in a positive and optimistic way so that like, I can keep moving forward. I know I'm going to see everybody eventually again. And I know when that happens, everybody's going to be like 200% because it's just going to be it's going to be like they've been locked away for so long. So I'm looking forward to that, but I'm also like enjoying the fact that I finally have time to get on the phone with people because I haven't, like, honestly, I haven't had time really to get on the phone with people in other places when I'm focused on one place. You know what I mean? So, and I'm
yeah.
not good at multitasking. So now I have time to be like, all right, okay, we're gonna talk on the phone tomorrow, 5 o'clock. All right, okay, all right. I'm gonna try to work that out better. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man. To stay connected, like digitally.
You see, you see, Tal talking about you don't answer your phone anyway. Face, stop, cause you're the same as me. Quit playing.
Yeah. See, it's weird, man, because especially, I mean, you could speak on this better than anybody, but that physical world and you trying to balance the travel and all that sort of stuff, it becomes really hard to connect with people. You feel like you're connecting with more people across the world, but how do you feel like the depth of a connection gets kind of difficult, especially, you're traveling and you're kind of getting new people almost all the time.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. Well, I think everything takes practice, and I think everything has certain skill levels to it. I think to build relationships takes a certain skill level. I think
Mm,
just because everybody knows how to make friends doesn't mean they're on the same level of like building relationships as another person. And so I learned that a long time ago because I always had to move from town to town, school to school. I went to like 4 high schools. I transferred every year to some other place, and I had to make all new friends. And at the same time, I wanted to keep the friends that I already had. So like I had to figure that out, and show some type of consistency so that they understand like, wow, this is real. He's not just trying to be friends with me because he's here right now. So what i
yeah.
what I normally do, like, I you can ask anybody from any country. Most of the time I'm like crashing at their crib, You know what I'm saying? And like they want to dance, that's cool. But like I want to like play Uno. I want to like watch their favorite TV shows. You know what I'm saying? See what they do. And they're already like excited because they're like, wow, he's not just caring about my moves. You know what I mean? Like it's deeper than that. And so I start the whole thing off like that so that we have a nice foundation to build off of. So
Man.
that's me. And you know, I think that's why I have so many people in my crew right now. Like we have about 70 people in the crew because
Ooh.
because of the relationships and stuff. So
Yeah, man, that's beautiful. That's one thing that I'm really curious about too, because 70 people in a crew and you got relationships. Like you're a person that's created this kind of worldwide network, but not just to make it worldwide, you know? You stick to this authentic nature, passing down the culture, and also just, you know, really diving deep with people. That's something that, you know, I don't know too many people that are doing it like that.
oh wow. No, I mean me personally, I'm not gonna take all the credit because I like grew up watching like other people like represent that kind of way. Or I mean, at least it looked like that to me.
Mm.
You know, and then like hearing about the reputation of like certain crews that's been around for like 30 years, 40 years, and then they're passing like positions off to the newer generation and stuff. I just found that to be so inspiring and stuff. And then like, not to sound cheesy, but I'm a big believer that a lot of movies hold truth to them. So I love specific types of movies that represent that family oriented lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, for example, when Fast and Furious first came out, I was all over that, bro, because it was like they were squadding up. Like, they were like, you know, they were doing stuff together. And then I found out in LA that they actually had a circuit that was for that. Like, that's a real thing. Like, behind my house in Van Nuys, like I used to hear them at the Target parking lot, like getting ready for races, and then the police would like chase them down, and they would all scatter and stuff, just like on the
Damn.
movie. Like, you know, like I was like, these
It's
guys are actually
wild.
like, I don't know. I mean, and you know, so not to use breaking the law as an example, but just saying that like people were like sticking together, doing stuff together on a personal level, like and making crews out of that and stuff. So I wanted to do the same thing. So I started this back when I was like 15. Yeah, 15 years old. So just wanted to keep
Wow.
it going.
So that brings me to this, like, when did you start this journey of dance? And was it just footwork in the beginning? Was it straight from the get-go?
Uh, yeah, I mean, friendships since day one, but like dancing also probably day one because my family are musicians and stuff like that. But like joining a crew and like training in a specific style and having mentors, I would say I was 14 when my life changed and I saw Chicago Footwork for the first time, and then I realized that like in order to learn this style, you got to join a clique. Like
Mm,
you couldn't be like solo in this kind of style. So I was like, because all the gold and all the gems were in every group, like, and they all had different styles of the same move. So every time my mom moved me to a new neighborhood, I would look for the dance group of that neighborhood and try to like audition for the crew or try out or just hang with them. You know, I was always the little kid, and they just like they let me in because you know I wasn't a threat to anybody. And so then like I learned a lot from multiple crews, and I learned how they structured the groups from president to vice presidents to captains to rehearsals and
mm.
practice, and all this information I ran back to my neighborhood that I was like born and raised in and shared it with my 14-year-old friends, and we were just like trying to make our own thing, but like we didn't know what we were doing, and
Mm.
through time it started to form into something, and we just kind of like stuck with each other pretty much.
See, that's something in popping. We don't really have that same crew structure, you know. I don't, you know, there's a couple crews out there, you know, that have like a hierarchy or like a system of breakdown of kind of authority in a sense.
Right.
But how as a crew, you know, you mentioned that you couldn't really exist without one. Um, how did how has a crew helped you evolve and grow?
Oh my God, man. Like a crew has helped me evolve. It it shows me where it shows me where my feelings about this whole thing should be. Where like I posted on my Insta story a few days ago, like what do you fight for? What do you love, right? And where I'm from, one thing that we fight for is each other. Um, and it's not a very affectionate city. Like there's
Mm,
not a lot of affection, but in replace of affection, there's this physical support where it's like if you're mad at somebody, if you're mad, it's like wolves, right?
mm.
So it's like if you got a if somebody has a problem with you, they got a problem with me, maybe more than you. Like
Wow.
I'm pushing you to the side. Like, nah, I'm taking this on for you. Like, I'm taking the heat for you. That's kind of how we grew up. So instead of it being a violent thing, you know, because there was a lot of gangs in Chicago, they transferred that same mentality from the gangs into dance groups. So it's like, you know, we can battle anywhere right now. You got a problem with my guy? All right, so how about you battle both of us? Now it's a 2-on-1. Like they don't, you know what I mean? Because they just
Yeah.
want to show that their partner that it's all action. I got you 24 hours a day. Call me anytime. Dude,
Mm.
I've been in battles where like we caught a couple guys walking out of a movie theater and slid on them with the car, jumped out the car, music already playing, like going at it, like right there, like what's
Damn,
up?
drive-bys. Shit.
So like
No, no, yeah, y'all ruthless.
so no, because they've done that to me. Like I've been at a gas station pumping gas before, and like a guy would come out the car calling me out, and another guy got a camera, like, dude, let me pump my gas, dude. You know, so
Yeah.
like it was always about like riding for your other like crewmates, and then like you guys have all these wild adrenaline experiences together, and that just creates more companionship and more excitement and like love for each other because you're like, I can't let you go, dude. Like we've been through too much together. You know what I mean? And it's like, and it's safe though. It's like it's just
Yeah.
dancing. So I try to put my crew members around the world through those same experiences. You know, like even like my Japanese crewmates. Now they follow a lot more different rules than we do, like in America. So I'm like, all right, well, I gotta show them what this is a little bit. So we went to you know, the Federal.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we went to the Federal. It was me and one my vice president from my crew in Japan, and I told him I was like, yo, let's hit the cipher, represent, throw up our crew sign, you know, talk to some people. I introduce you to some people, and then let's leave. Right before they all leave out the party, pull the car up, open the door when everybody's walking out of the club, and just blast the music and start going crazy in the middle of the street. So then we like start
Sheesh.
going crazy, and everybody start forming a circle around us, like, hey, you know. So I
Damn.
wanted him to feel that rush. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
know, and that's why we still dance at the park to this day. You know, you've been there because we want to show them the professional route, but keep it like kind of like free and raw at the same time. So
Yeah, I mean that's a huge one, bro. Like yeah, I was talking to Baby Tight Eyes yesterday and I was like, you know, this thing is getting global and especially even in this digital realm now that we're experiencing it, it's getting passed on, but how do we keep the essence and the culture getting passed on? So like when I see you do that, it's like that's that real, you know? So how do you see it getting passed on in this day and age where it's like becoming more internet based?
mm,
Is it possible?
I mean, I think just off the top of the head, the only way that it will be somewhat possible is just recording yourself still doing raw free stuff wherever you're at. You know what I mean? Um, and passing that on to somebody else, or like, like, yeah, I guess that's the main thing I would think about. Like, and then we have sessions, my crew, we have sessions online on Zoom, where like one of my crewmates, Budilla, he hosts the session, and people around the world are on there, and like we're like doing random stuff, you know what I mean? Like, all right, so this person's gonna go first in their round, you're gonna go second, you're gonna go third. All right, so while this person is going, the person that's up needs to do 20, 30 push-ups, 20 sit-ups,
Oh
and then they're gonna
shit.
go. And then the next person, 20, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We just want to like keep everybody pumped up, and like, and yeah, it's pretty. They're pretty like rough on each other. I mean, not rough, but like tough on each other, like in a way where they want to keep everybody like comfortable in the pressure, because like in the real world there's pressure, and you don't want to like break down or be nervous and you can't think straight because you feel too much pressure. So we exercise that with each other, but in a positive way. We also have kids like all the way to like 10 years old in our crew, and their parents support everything that we're doing too, because it's just dance or whatever. But like we try to like keep it raw, visually, digitally still too, like doing activities together wherever we're at. Like, and I think there's more and more creativity to come. We've only been in quarantine for about 2 months now. And
Yeah.
I think the longer this happens, the more people are gonna come out with more ideas, because we're talking about human beings, We're gonna come
Hmm.
out with more and more crazy ideas. People are already doing online battles and stuff, and we just gotta do what we can until we can like physically connect again. I don't know. I don't think we should look at it like, dance is dying out or anything extreme like that. I think we can just make do with what we got.
Yeah, man. So when you think about like your upbringing, and you come from the South Side of Chicago, and this is a huge part of, I mean, it is Chicago footwork, so that essence that comes from coming up in that city is a huge part of the way you approach movement.
Yeah.
So, what was it like when you were first starting out? Because you said you hopped around. Were you always in the South Side of Chicago, or did you go different places?
Uh, and 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 Artifact said, D so better hit a footwork round before this is over.
Are
Oh
you
my God,
ready, bro? Are you
it's
ready?
too funny. No, yeah, I was on the South Side. Like I was on the South Side. I never went to the West Side until I was 20, 21. We always heard crazy stories about the West Side, like, what I'm saying, like violent stories, like they'll just shoot you in broad daylight or some crazy stuff, So we were just like, always kind of skeptical. And then one day we just kind of squatted up and was just like, in our opinion, our crew at that time had like, went against every single crew on the South Side. So we're like, yo, let's turn up the heat on the West Side, get our name even bigger. So we went to an event, and it turned out just fine. It turned out great. You know what I mean? The style, we had to get more comfortable with their style, because some of the people in our generation were a little bit more wild than we were as far as form. The South Side was more clean, in my opinion, at that time. But now it's way more mixed. Like, you don't know who's from the West, who's from the South Side with Chicago footwork, because it became global now. But back in the day, like, I don't know, 12 years ago or something like that, 13, 14 maybe. Yeah, they were a little bit more wilder. But I didn't find out until a few years ago that Chicago footwork started from the West Side of Chicago. So we were always taking the
Oh, snap.
ownership, like the South Side was the best, because we started it or whatever. But we heard it got passed from the West to the South. And those are the main two regions of Chicago footwork in Chicago. So
Damn. So when did footwork start? When was it like the jump off?
it started in the 80s, but it wasn't labeled the same. The birth of it was in the 80s because of house music in Chicago. But it wasn't called Chicago Footwork. It wasn't even called like Footwork at that time. It was more like just street dance of any types because of house music.
Mm.
And because it was so mixed in the room at the warehouse, from like Latin people to the blacks to the rave community, all bringing in different types of movement and feeling. Um, yeah, and then it wasn't until like, I think some people say 87 was when it really started to like formulate into something.
Damn.
But the crazy thing is the first generation crews that did Footwork, some of them started in the 1980, 1979, before the whole thing. They were just a dance troupe. And so it's all, so no one knows the exact date, but
Mm.
some people say they do, but they go back and forth with that. So I know for sure that it started over 30 years ago, and that I'm third generation, and I have teachers and my teachers have teachers, and that I have students and my students have students. So it's about like 5 generations right now, Chicago Forward.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah.
And so you guys, as far as the Chicago footwork being traced back to a specific person is not really a thing either then.
Okay, so some people, a lot of people are starting to say that it started with these two brothers from the West Side. One of their names is Goose, I think, and then I got to remember the other person's name. They don't footwork anymore, but yeah, they're saying that some of the first moves came from them, and one of the first moves of Chicago footwork is called the Ghost. It's more groovy with more like flow and feeling, and sometimes people use a hit, like a popping kind of hit, because we had some inspiration from popping and breaking and stuff back in the 80s too, because of Soul Train and all of that stuff. So which people don't know that Soul Train started in Chicago, but you know that, I think that's also why we were connected to those kind of things.
Wow.
So yeah, people kind of argue back and forth on like who started
Oh yeah, of course, man. Every it's like as soon as I ask that question, I'm like, oh, we getting in politics right now, you know?
it.
But yeah, man, it's crazy because I'm thinking to myself like before this interview, I was like, man, what's in the water in the Midwest, you know? Like
You funny.
what's in the water, man? Because you think about you have like Detroit Jit, you have House, you have Chicago Footwork, and it's like these footwork dominant styles. Um, I'm just curious, like why the Midwest of all places too, that is kind of footwork dominant.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, good question. I think one thing about Chicago is we've always been kind of into footwork, because a dance that's even older than Chicago footwork is called Chicago stepping,
Mm,
where it's a partner dance. I don't know if you ever saw this R. Kelly video a long time ago called "Step in the Name of Love," "Step in the Name of Love," but it's
mm,
like they're all dressed in white suits and all this other stuff and dresses and stuff, and the song is like, it has like a routine part of the song where they're like step, step, side to side, round and
mm,
around, dip it down. That's the
yeah,
"Step in the Name of Love" song, and that's for Chicago stepping, the dance style, which is a partner dance. So um, they use a lot of footwork for that too. If you type it on YouTube, you'll see some phenomenal stuff, man. Because they're freestyling while they're partner dancing, you know, and
yeah,
they're real smooth and their feet are moving crazy. I don't know. I think that's connected. Detroit Jit. I have to ask like Manson and Strings and these guys and Gabby, because I know I heard something about the jitterbug at one
mm,
point, but I'm not sure what the full connection is out there. I just know overall, just to brag about the Midwest for a second, like if you look at it, not taking anything away from the East Coast or the West Coast, not at all, because they like blow everything up. East Coast, West Coast, they blow everything up, right? But
yeah,
if you look at it, we got the Queen of Pop, Madonna, Detroit, the King of Pop, Michael Jackson, Indiana. right next to each other. I mean, and right in between that is Chicago. I mean, we don't have somebody that big, but we do have Earth, Wind and Fire, you know,
All the
Common.
Motown legends,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. And then I just found out that Walt Disney was from Chicago. Um, so I don't know, but every place has places where you can brag about some people. But I don't know, music wise, you know, we had a certain type of sound that was coming from the Midwest, like, you know, with the house music, ghetto house music, and this Chicago footwork music, the jit music, Motown, like you said, like, I don't know. I think it has something to do with the sound because the footworkers weren't changing up the dance style until the producers were changing up the music. You know, that's the only reason we dance fast. It wasn't our choice, it was the DJ's choice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it's interesting to me when I think about house music, and then I was just kind of focusing on that, thinking about how house and Chicago footwork have some similar steps, but then how the grooves have changed as well, you know? So,
Right.
um, yeah, it's like house. Yeah, because really, like if you look at the origins of any style, there's no foundation yet, right? They're just creating, they're just moving to sound. So it's
Facts.
kind of like it's just the foundation doesn't come till later till you start to break down in hindsight what makes us look the way we do and how do I pass that on?
Right.
So yeah, man, so the producers started changing the music and so they started to pick up the BPMs, right?
Yep,
And
yep.
started hitting the loops.
Yep, yep. Started to do some samples. Started to oh yo, what's going on, Cash? Yak Films in the building. Shouts
Hey,
out to Chicago South Side. He's from Chicago.
oh, sick.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, they started doing samples and all that stuff. Like, dude, one of the biggest goals for footworkers growing up, because we didn't have any avenues of career or success or anything like that. It was just a dance we did from kids to high school and then we quit. So if you think about it in that kind of mindset, because there was no other opening, you know, we're the first of the opening because our generation, my generation had Facebook, YouTube, you know, and all of these platforms that kind of blasted us off, you know. And then
Yeah.
106 and Park was really big back then for dance and all that stuff. So and MTV. So yeah, so the biggest goal for footworkers back then was to get noticed by a DJ, and then the DJ would come and talk to the footworker and be like, yo, man, I want to make you a track, or I want to shout you out at my next party on the mic. That was the biggest goal. So like if we came to the party and they, because first of all, we were doing this to hook up with people. You know what I'm saying? We were doing this to get popular and hook up with people. This is what teenagers were doing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the DJ would be like, yo, one time we got King Charles in the bit. What? Like, I had so much plug after that. So, you
Yeah.
know, and then like the goal was to get into the DJ booth and not even be a part of society anymore. Just like stand by the DJ, like, you know, in the little booth and nobody else can fit in there or something. And then make friends with them and go to their house and then watch the process of how they make these tracks. That's
Uh,
that's what would happen. We would start watching them on their MPCs and their beat machines, and they'll be like, you know, doing like making this right in front of us, and we'd just be trying to be cool, like, you know, because they're already cool in our eyes. Like, you know, we're just trying to act cool. Whatever they're doing, we're doing, you know. But
yeah.
inside, we were geeked up, bro. Like, you know, and it's still amazing to this day to see like Chicago footwork producers, juke producers make these tracks, man. Like they got skills, man. The rhythms and stuff, like the way that they're doing it. Oh my God, dude, you should see a DJ battle between two Chicago footwork DJs. And like the OGs, they'll do it with vinyl, bro. They'll go back
Oh,
and forth with vinyl. Like it's wild.
wow. That's wild. Yeah. Because for me, it's like, I think if you're connected to the process of making the music, man, automatically your musicality goes up a whole nother level. If you haven't seen a track be produced, or at least like live musicians like producing music, it's like you're slightly disconnected. You're just not, you don't have any like nostalgia or anything
Nah,
to attach to the sounds that are and the way they're compiled together.
definitely, definitely, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and did you have you ever went to Tokyo Beat?
Oh
Um,
yeah, 100%. Yeah. The
I
bound
feel
the bound
I feel like I
Yeah,
might
we
have
were
saw
always
you up
there,
there before.
bro.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, we were there, and we also went to Grand Star when it was there for a little bit too.
Is that in Chinatown?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, got you. All right,
yeah,
word.
yeah. We were always there because it was Wednesday night that we would go there, and there would be like funk DJs, and then
Right.
Tuesday night was y'all. So like we were at Tokyo Beat every night of the week just because like that was the spot, and
Yeah,
then we started
yeah.
getting introduced to your music. So we had to adjust our style, you know. So we were working on
Mm,
all this sort of stuff, like real glitch stuff to the footwork music, and
right,
dude, it upped our skill and the ability to like the quickness that we can move, you know?
right. Hey, dude, it's so funny. I gotta say this. I just gotta be honest. I gotta say this because the mind of a Chicago footworker is the mind state is kind of like a fire element kind of mind state, especially when we're in it.
Mm.
And so immediately, it wasn't you, but immediately when I started seeing poppers come in there at first, bro, I was like, what's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, so I didn't know until like maybe 2 Tuesdays. I was like, oh, okay, they're cool. You know, like they're just doing their thing. You know, because some of them would try to jump in the footwork circle. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like, well, actually, it was like this. Well, it was two guys. It was two guys. I forgot this one guy's name, but the other guy was this short black dude named you know him, bro.
E-Bone?
Ebone.
Yeah.
Now look, he would come in the circle, right? And in the beginning, I was look. Ant knows exactly what I'm talking about. Look, it's like Charles is ready to battle everybody. Look, so Ebone would come in the circle, and like I was just trying to stay cool, bro. I was just trying to stay cool, like just let him, cause like we got a vibe, bro. Like, but he felt it. He felt it. I'm not sure. I might have battled him before too, and just not cared. And so
Uh,
then he came back the next week and was like, all right. So he's trying to hit footwork on us, like, and then like I was like, actually, I respected that, bro, because if you're gonna step into our world, like at least try to participate a little bit in what we're doing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you can't just interrupt it, you know?
No. So then he started getting better, bro. Like
Ooh.
I'm actually curious on where he's at in the world right now, because like he earned my respect. I was like, I see you, bro. You come in here every Tuesday. You know, you're going over there and you hitting your rounds, and then you come over here. You know, and that's what's up. Like I rocks with that. Like that's
Yeah,
dope.
he's a cool ass dude, man. Ebone's like he's got no fear, man. So that's dope, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, bro.
Ebone.
Like, yeah, Talbot would be there every Tuesday, you know, and you guys
Yeah,
inspired
Tableau.
Talbot
Yeah.
a lot, I think, you know, because every time after that, like he would just be searching for the highest BPM music he could find, yo. He
Oh
started
wow.
training all his students to it, you know.
Oh really?
So yeah, because like basically his theory is like if you train to really high BPM music, when you go back to like funk or like R&B or something, it feels like you got so much space just to move. Like it feels like the music's moving in slow motion, so you got time to think now.
Facts. That's
Yeah.
how I felt when I first started. Like when I entered in Just a Boo in 2009. I just finished getting off tour, and actually no, it was before that. 2007 when I was in New York and we just started the tour. I was living in New York, and this girl Melanie Aguirre, who was with House of Ninjas at the time, she was taking me around to the clubs to like meet the dance community. But I was fresh out of Chicago, so I didn't know how to socialize the way that the world socializes with dancing. Like, you know, the cipher thing. I didn't know
Yeah.
how to cipher in the beginning, because in Chicago Footwork we don't have a full circle cipher. Like we still don't, like we don't have this. Like we have a half a circle, and we're directing it all at the same direction. So if we don't want to battle each other, we'll face the speaker and battle the speaker, or battle the car, or it has to be,
Uh,
we have to direct our energy at something, and it can't be a circular direction, unless
wow.
unless unless if I'm like aiming it at something and I do a circle, like I can do circles, but my target is still the same focus, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So yeah, so like when I went to New York, uh I went to a club and I was like, all right, so who's the dopest dancers in here? I was 21, bro. I was an animal. I was like, so who's the
Yeah,
dopest
hungry.
dancers in here? She was like, oh yeah, over there, that's Ejo. I was like, all right, just stay over here. Bro, I went over there instantly and just tried to just rip it. Bro, I just tried to like go crazy,
Oh
bro.
shit.
So like he literally ignored me while I'm like aiming my moves at him the whole night. He
Yeah.
was like in outer space or something. And that was teaching me like there's more than one way to translate your movement. You know what I mean? And there's
Mm.
more than one reason on why people are dancing. So I started learning lessons. But some people like to battle. Like I went at a couple OGs and they were like, they came up to me afterwards and shook my hand and was like, bro, thank you so much, because I haven't felt that rush in so long. So I got different responses, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. There was a thought I had. I was thinking about like, what if money was all directed at dance, right? This
Uh-huh.
is just an idea. Like, imagine all the money that's in athletics is we have the same amount of money in dance now, right?
Right.
What what would happen,
Oh God.
and who who would still stand the test of time? That's what I think. I said,
Mm.
okay, you take all the best athletes in football, basketball, any athlete, and you say, hey, actually, the money's in dance, and who's gonna still stand the test of time? And to me, I was like, man, Charles, I don't know if you could apply athlete to the same shit, because to me, there's a athletic prowess to what you do, and
Mm.
it's like, I see poppers, I'm like, man, y'all lazy, man, y'all lazy. You're lucky there ain't no money in this because people will rip you up.
No, well, well, actually, the only time that was really crazy to me, like athletic wise, like athlete wise, I did this Puma commercial, and it was a bunch of dancers in this gig. It was in LA. It was like choreographed, well, creative directed by Super Dave, and then with the campaign started going out, and I was the only person in the whole campaign that was wearing Usain Bolt's Puma shoe. So
Mm,
they showed a commercial. They went to Usain Bolt and added him to a commercial, and then they show him on his laptop. You can find this on YouTube. They show him on his laptop watching me footwork in his shoe, and I forgot what he said. I think he said something like, "Look at this dude and his feet. Like I don't think I could move my feet that fast," or something crazy like that,
Ooh,
bro.
let's go.
It was really crazy, bro, because this is like the fastest man in the universe, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know, man. Yeah, like that's one thing I love about Chicago Footwork is that we need this release. We need this release because of the things that go on there, and so it's a very productive release. But like you never really realize how intense a person is or how high energy a person is until you see them do like a really high energy dance or something, or like form of art or like sport or something like that. Because yo, like I've seen, like, yo, I'm not even, if we're talking speed, I can move fast, but like I think there's some guys in Chicago Footwork that would probably just like levitate away, just like fly away, just because their feet are moving and their form is different than mine. Like me, I don't like to take away the dance groove feeling away from my movement which like holds me onto the beat more solid. But like
Mm.
some sports are healthy and great and all, but it was skewed when it came to big games, and it was no good. Dance is the future. Dance is the future. Excellent. I support you. Uh, yeah, but yeah, it's a lot of fast footworkers out there, man. I don't know, man. These athletes, they're gonna have to be thin and strong all at the same time. You can't be coming in here with LeBron James size body, you know what I'm saying?
Oh no.
You're gonna have to thin up a little bit, you know what I'm saying, to keep up with like the footwork and the technique and not like hit your shoes against each other. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So this is one thing that I always think about too is that I see like I follow MMA a lot, right? So mixed martial arts, and I think I see a lot of I just study movement in general, but when I watch their movement, there's sometimes I go, they could really benefit from this style of dance. You know, if you look at like Lomachenko, the boxer, his dad made him quit boxing for years to learn a folk dance of Russia. You know, so
really?
and he's the champ. Like he's the man. You know, and I think some of the even two of the best like jujitsu guys in the world who study under Eddie Bravo at 10th Planet. They're from oh shit, I don't want to mess up their crew name. Uh shit. Yeah, well they were dope ass B-boys.
Right.
Like and so their translation into jiu-jitsu is crazy. They're two brothers, man, and they're wrecking the game.
Wait,
So
where
when
they
I see
from?
like Chicago Footwork, I'm like,
Somebody
yo,
said,
how could this, yeah, Freak Show, exactly. Yeah, Freak Show. They know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So Freak Show was the crew name. And then they're two brothers. But yeah, man, like Chicago Footwork, I feel like could translate to athletics like crazy.
yeah, I mean, you know, that's the thing. Like, I don't know, like much respect to like people who got deals. I heard Mr. YouTube got a shoe deal recently. Um, Lil Buck had a whole presentation of a shoe under Versace, I think, or something like that. And I think it's well deserved, you know, because of what they promote and how hard they push and stuff. I just think there should be way more attention with like athletic gear and sponsorships and all of that stuff, and to put us at higher regard because, you know, we're doing all of this stuff artistically without like health support from, you know,
Speak, bro. Speak on it.
assistant people like that are making sure that we don't injure ourselves and all that stuff. We're the raw essence and the raw, like, you know what I'm saying, like example of where a lot of these athletes start from, you know,
Mm,
and I really admire how high they've taken it, but it's like I think a lot more of us should get there too, or at least be allowed to. But that's never gonna stop dance either way. You know, we fall in love with the dance for other reasons anyway. So we're just gonna keep pushing and creating more doors. I think this is the most dance has ever had opportunities. Um, Not saying it's ran by all the right people, but we definitely got some good people out here that are still like pushing, like creatively, you know, pushing the boundaries physically, business wise, you know what I'm saying? So we got a lot more coming, man. And that's why I'm trying to take Chicago Footwork, my crew. Dude, like I've opened up my mind a lot since Chicago days, like of just living back at home, because like we got people in our crew that do all different types of styles now. You don't just have to only know Chicago Footwork. Like we got all type. We've had poppers, tap dancers, you know what I'm saying, breakers. We had people who knew a little bit about breaking. I don't think we have somebody that's like high level in breaking yet.
mm.
Lockers, you know what I'm saying. I do house, hip hop, and I've practiced on how to fuse them together. So we're still trying to open the doors to more possibilities.
Yeah, man. Yo, the future is weird, man. There's no telling. Yo, I was just watching Joe Rogan just posted his interview today with Elon Musk. So
Wow.
his last interview with Elon sent Tesla stock down because he smoked a blunt on the podcast.
Oh,
So I was like, yo, sell your Tesla stock quick, cause but I was
that's crazy.
thinking they were talking about Neuralink. So Elon Musk is inventing this thing that is basically going to enhance the productivity of your mind by at least 10 times by taking away like yeah, just to make you more focused and also like the ability to eliminate distractions, right? And so it's like basically they remove a piece of your skull and then they implant a chip that hooks in electrodes to your brain, yo. This is crazy, yo. So,
Nothing, nothing good ever comes from a chip inside flesh. I mean, but we don't have to go there completely. I mean, there. Okay, it's always advertised like good things come from it, but the one reason why you're using it is not the only one use for that
oh
thing
yeah,
from
yeah,
somebody
yeah,
else who controls it, and that's why I don't know about all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I think I've come to terms with the fact that I have some type of attention uh situation where I can't focus on one
Hmm.
thing all the time. I'm embracing that now. I'm allowing myself to see colors this way and this way and this way. I think that's a part of my artistry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what allows me to think so well when I'm footworking at this tempo, you know, or do things or multitask or like, I mean, or like connect with all my crew members and give them the attention that they need or whatever. Like, I think focus is good, but I think there's other ways around it. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about
Yeah, the only reason I bring this up, man, is because when you talk about like athletes and stuff, like if you think about the value that they're producing as athletes, it's really when it comes down to the objectivity of sports, like, scoring points and shit. So
it.
when you score
Oh,
points, that's what produces the value for everybody else because they can understand numbers. They can understand
okay.
winning and losing very clearly. But when it comes to dance, that's the only thing that's separating us is that you can't calculate this stuff, you know? It
Nah.
comes down to a lot of opinions and all that sort of stuff. So,
Yeah, like
but when it comes to the future, our brains might be way different, yo. Dance might be able to offer something that sports can't, you know.
right, right. I think more scientists and people, you know, of different expertise that analyze the body all the time should dissect more about like should dig more deeper about the artistry of dance and like try to figure out stuff and like maybe we can combine our minds together to figure out a new understanding or discovery about this stuff because but I think it's going to take a scientist who has dance background, you know what I'm saying, as well to
Mhm.
like really like dissect on like how deep the rabbit hole goes with dance because yo, man, like, and it's not even about size. This is what I tell people too. Dance, the dances that I'm the most attractive to are not even most of the time like the biggest move, even though there's some people who do incredible big moves that like freeze my face for a second. But like to see somebody do like micro movement and you're able to catch it like with your eyes and
Yeah.
see that kind of control from the inside out, like they're like halfway in, halfway out moving, you know, and you see it and you see that they have full control. They're not just like throwing moves around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see their chest come out for a second and all of a sudden their knee, like, and then like their hip and like they're aiming a certain way. It's like, that's nasty. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, dude. It's
Yo,
amazing.
I think to me, I think like dancers are, masters of flow state. The incredible dancers, they're masters of tapping in to a state of mind that allows them to access all the fundamentals that they practiced for years, but then surrender to the moment. So like even when you slow down a track, like so if you go on YouTube and you slow things down to point 0.5 and it's still like boom, like their shoulders like cat boom 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 boom
Yeah.
and it's breaking down multiple rhythms at the same time,
Nah,
like
that's crazy. Nah, that's
it's
crazy.
crazy,
Yeah,
yo.
that's
Like how
crazy.
is that not valuable? Like
Yeah, I
we
don't
can't put a
understand.
dollar sign on that. Like we need to
Facts.
teach the world that.
Facts. I think you know, uh certain amount of us is starting to open doors in the athletic uh direction, and then others are opening more doors into the music direction. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So I think we do have a promising future. Like yeah, like B-boys, I think they just officially, right, they were supposed to be in the Olympics, right? That's what I
Yeah,
heard.
the kids Olympics, yeah.
Right. You know, and so like I'm pretty sure they're celebrating about that, you know, like getting more recognition and stuff. And then on the music side, more and more artists are like, yo, I need dancers. I don't even want to be in the video. I just want dancers to just like translate what I'm singing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
So
like Bieber does that, right?
right, you know, like, and I've seen a couple people like I listen to all types of music, and I'm a fan of some alternative rock music too. And my favorite band is called Paramore, and
Mm.
Paramore did this one track with this with Zed and B-Boy Cloud, who did a Madonna tour before mine, was one of the dancers translating the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And she was in the song here and there, but like that was, I don't know, I was like, yo, much respect to the people who like acknowledge what, dude, we're working our butts off, dude. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I got to show respect to like Madonna and these people, cause like she literally put me on a stage in front of 100,000 people, and it was me and Prince J-Ron from Chicago, and she was like, all right, so this is the part where I'm just gonna go down under the stage and change my clothes. So I need you guys to kill it every night.
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying? To
that's
give me,
so hype.
yeah, like to give me that responsibility, dude. Like that's
Yeah,
lit.
that's what I'm
That
talking about, man.
yeah. So
That's
I
great.
yeah, that's what's up to me. I don't know. I think
Yeah,
we got a
man.
promising future.
When I think about like Flume, right? Like Flume put Storyboard P on, right? With that
Yeah,
Drop the Game video. Then Flying Lotus put Storyboard P on too with that one where he shot in Watts, you know?
I booked Storyboard P for uh this job that I choreographed for called Happy. It's a song called Happy by C2C. It's an all black and
Uh,
white music video.
I saw that one. Yeah, yeah. Well, you
Yeah,
guys are dressed old school, right?
yeah. And I did the
Yeah.
casting. I did the casting for that. And
Sick.
I brought him in, and I brought Outrage, Worm, Chemo from my crew, uh and like yeah, a couple more people. So it was like it was lit. I don't know, but like he's a character, dude. You know what I mean? This guy is, yeah, he's one of a kind.
Jeez. Yeah, man. I got some stories with that guy, man. It was somebody I always watched probably from like really early on. But yeah, like I got the chance to chill with him like about 4 times. And a couple times was in Bed-Stuy, like where he's from. And bro, he's on another wave, man. It's like, yo, I'm walking around the neighborhood with him, and I'm like, dude,
Wow.
yo, I had a crazy session with him. It was him, me and Storyboard were chilling. We're walking around Bed-Stuy, and we walk into this liquor store, and there's like glass. So I'm like ordering. I don't know. He wanted me to get like a blunt wrap or something. I don't know. And I was like, then I got the blunt wrap, and then he hands it back to me. He's like, "Yo, can you roll this?" And I was like, "Wait, so you want a blunt wrap, but you don't know how to roll? Like, what's up?" You know. And so,
Wow.
anyways, then I go, I hear D Soul, and I was like, I'm at Bed-Stuy at night, like
That's
who's
crazy.
calling my name, you know?
Right.
And then I look over and it's Frantic and Poppin' Todd, yo.
Out in Brooklyn?
in Bed-Stuy because Poppin' Todd was living out there.
Wow.
So then it was Poppin' Todd, Frantic, and then my homie Ilya, and then so we ended up going up to the rooftop, overlooking like from Brooklyn, overlooking the city.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a session on the rooftop, yo. So I'm watching Frantic and Storyboard go rounds. Like
Wow. You know,
it was crazy as fuck,
you
man.
know what's crazy? I'm not sure when that was. When was that?
Oh man, that had to been. This was like during a Steppy game up, so it probably was like a 2013,
Okay,
2013 or something.
that's crazy because around that same time, Miss Prissy and Little C started a crump company called the Underground, and she put me on there because it was mostly crumpers, but she wanted like extra styles of dance, so she put me in there. She put B-Boy Machine, she put Slick, she
Mm.
put Frantic, and she put
Wow.
Storyboard on there. So yeah, so we were all doing like rehearsals and stuff, bro. It was like the craziest rehearsals I've ever
What
like.
was it? Was that at USC?
Yeah, we did USC before. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I remember because I remember seeing the flyer and I was like, I saw some people associate. I was like, oh my God. And Storyboard was coming out to LA at that time too. So I was
yeah,
like, damn, this is my like legends,
yeah. No story.
Shit.
Yeah, and that was my first. That was my first experience with Storyboard. Like I realized how articulate he is, and then I adapted and figured out how we could connect and how we could vibe. So we rock every time I see him. And last time I saw him, I did like it was last year or the year before. I did an Elton John job in Brooklyn, and Joe was in there, and then I saw Storyboard, and it was extra cool. You know what I mean? Like every time I see him, it's cool. But I feel like he's one of those types of people. If you don't know how to talk to somebody like him, he's just gonna fly away on you. Like
Mm,
you're not, you guys aren't gonna translate to each other. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He did some stuff like that blew my mind, man. I visited him when he was staying out in Jersey. So I'll take the train out there, and this is I forget what year, but I went. We were chilling. We were just walking around his neighborhood, walked to the park, and yeah, man, he did some stuff where he was like, we are standing by the road, and he's like, yo, I could like, and he's going off already, right? There's no music playing. He's just like mutating, right? So he's like getting in his zone. He's gliding on the sidewalk, and I'm just sitting there on the stairs, like, damn, like he's floating right now. He's on the handrails coming down, like melting, and I'm just there's no music, yo, and
Mm,
I was just asking questions, and then he would like halfway respond with like words, but then he would like kind of emulate it with his body, and then
yeah.
he's like, I could feel stuff before it happens, right? And he goes like this, and he goes boom, boom with his foot. He stomps twice. At just 1 second later, a truck drives by and it runs over something, and it goes doom, doom, and I was like,
Wow.
and I was thinking, man, this is yeah, I think there's just
Deeper
another,
connection.
he's on another dimension, like,
Deeper
yeah.
connection. I
Yo,
feel
yo,
that.
this is about to end right now. I'm gonna start another one real quick.
All right. All right.